Today we'll be doing a review of the 2021 TCL 7 series, or R745. We'll be evaluating it on our standardized test bench to see how it performs and if you should buy it. We bought the 85-inch model, which is the only size available for this particular series, but it's part of TCL's XL lineup, which has a few large format 85-inch models. Let's start with the design, and the first thing that stands out for this TV is obviously its size. This was actually a bit of a challenge for us to test. Due to the wide set stand, we extended our tabletop and used some structural tape to secure everything well. This probably isn't a good solution for your home setup though, so do check that you've got enough space or a 600 by 400 Visa mount. This large size is definitely not for everyone, but if you care about a really immersive viewing experience with a wide field of view or have a large room, then definitely bigger tends to be better. Now, taking a look at the inputs, they are pretty standard for any TV in the last couple of years, with 4 HDMI inputs. Unfortunately, none of these support the higher bandwidth HDMI 2.1, but this isn't really an issue unless you want to game at high resolutions and frame rates with a new graphics card or console. One of the ports does support ARC or audio return channel that you can connect to your receiver or soundbar to play sound from the TV through your external speakers. The build quality is fine, but this is ultimately a big TV at a low price, so don't expect too much. Overall, the design isn't too interesting, so let's get on to our test results. A high native contrast is important if you want to watch movies or TV at night or in a dark home theater environment. This TV has a V8 panel with a high native contrast, so it performs well here to produce deep, detailed dark scenes. It also has local dimming to further improve the performance in dark rooms, but it's only mediocre, as subtitles and other bright areas have noticeable blooming. If you plan to watch TV in a bright room, then a bright screen is important to overcome glare. This TCL doesn't disappoint, and is one of the brightest TVs we've tested, in line with high-end models, so bright areas are visible even in rooms with lots of glare. In darker scenes where the TV can't just overpower ambient light though, a good anti-reflective coating is important. This TV is decent overall, and the semi-gloss finish cuts down on reflections a bit, but they are definitely still noticeable in a room with some lights. If you've got a wide seating arrangement or like to watch TV with family and friends, then good viewing angles help to ensure no one's left with washed out colors or crushed details. Unfortunately on this TCL, the image quality drops dramatically when viewed off angle, so the image is really only best viewed from directly in front. An overall uniform screen is important when watching content that pans over uniform areas, such as watching football, hockey, or playing games. Uniformity issues cause a distracting phenomena called the dirty screen effect. On this TV, it isn't too bad, but the edges are noticeably darker. Now, if you're a fan of vibrant colors, then you might enjoy watching high dynamic range or HDR content on Blu-rays or streaming services like Netflix. This requires a wide color gamut, and the 7 series can do a good job with this, so colors can appear vibrant. It's also important for good colors that the transition between them appears smooth. For example, if there's a scene with a gradient, like a sunset, then colors should appear smooth and natural. For this, the TCL does a good job, but there is some banding noticeable. When playing video games, a fast response time is important for the clearest image without blur trails. This TCL does an excellent job, but in really dark transitions, there is some black smearing that is typical of the V8 panel type. It's not visible in the moving photo or in real life, but this TV does flicker at a high frequency of 960 Hz. Some people are sensitive to this and it might be an issue, but for most people, it isn't even noticeable. A fast input lag is important for a reactive feel when using the TV as a monitor or gaming. Like most TVs though, the input lag is low, so things feel very responsive when in game mode. Speaking of games, the TV supports the standard range of features from a PS5 or new Xbox, but can't accept high bandwidth signals like 4K at 120 Hz. For most people, this probably isn't an issue, but if you care about more responsive 4K gaming, then a TV with HDMI 2.1 support may be a better choice. This TV does support variable refresh rate though, for a tear-free gaming experience. Like many other TCL TVs, this one uses the Roku Smart Platform. This is generally one of the favorites, as it's simple to use, responsive, and supports a wide range of streaming services. Just look out for the ads on the home screen. The sound of this TCL is decent. While it has a visible subwoofer on the back, it really doesn't have punch to the bass. This is pretty typical of most TVs though, so if you care about good sound, then a soundbar is the way to go. So that brings us to the conclusion. Should you buy it? Well, it does have better picture quality with local dimming than many other large budget TVs. If you're after a big TV, then it is a good choice. Go for it. If you don't care too much about picture quality, but just want a large size, then take a look at the budget Samsung A8000.